Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fireside stream. I am your host, Raymond McNeil, and with me as always is the ever-present Mollie Rhymemaster. How are you doing,
You almost
Mollie?
said erstwhile. Hi everyone, happy Frog Day. I'm back here with Tiny Weiss, the cringe-sniffing Weiss, and she's ready.
I almost called you erstwhile again, and I'm just like, no, I can't use that anymore. I learned it's wrong.
All right, before we talk about anything else, get out of the way, the elephant in the room. Fixing RWBY Volume 4, that ending twist. Ooh.
Oh, man, God, that came out so perfectly. I am so happy with it. And yeah, I do plan on doing my my response stream to a lot of the comments next week, especially because like it's looking like Mollie won't be able to make it next week, so I might have that in place of the regular stream. So look forward to that. I'm still working on getting the full length version of it done, the full length version of Fixing RWBY Volume 4. So look for that later sometime this week. I'm hoping to get it out. I'm going to be a little more languid paced with it. There's a lot of patrons I need to credit. Oh shit.
By the way, Fixing RWBY Volume 5, if any of you sing and can sing rock especially, please let me know. Please hook me up. Please message Raymond, anything.
Shit, my controller.
I have ideas.
Yes, please do that. Please do that. We would really much appreciate the help. Sorry I'm being kind of like finicky here. Both me and Mollie were very tired before this show. I don't think either of us... I didn't feel like I got enough sleep even though I got a full 8 hours. And I'm just all over the place, so I didn't get time to set everything up. The light's still too bright. I don't understand how to make this not wash me out. I am just all over the place. Okay, turn that off. That's slightly better, I think. So yes, how is everyone doing today? That was amazing. Hello, everyone. I'm so far behind fixing RWBY. Well, there's perfect... You're now at the perfect point to just pick it up and start watching again. You can get through it in what? Maybe... Oh, it's only what? 4? No, it's about 7 hours long at this point, probably. Like, if you account for, like, they're about hour and a half a piece, not counting Volume 1, which is only 50 minutes.
There are reviews of individual Star Wars movies that are longer than that, so...
Yes, there are. That's not a bad thing. So let's see, many songs. Yes. So, in our last episode, we covered, it was description, was it we covered, I believe? It was descriptive.
We covered descriptive writing.
And in this episode, we challenged people to write dialogue. In particular, we gave them RWBY as a prompt, but with this particular one, it was ultimately very loose. You could do whatever you kind of wanted with it. But RWBY in general was the theme that we kind of wanted. All the same, we got 5 good submissions here. I think, is that right? We have 5 submissions?
Yes, we do. We actually got a submission from a fellow Rensselaer student. So, big school pride. Go Engineers. Girlfriend in chat, I think. Girlfriend, if you're in chat, please say hello. As usual.
Oh yeah, yes, Moopa, I did in fact get yours. I forgot to tell you. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I see it, I'm like, oh, okay. I just copy paste and throw it into the Discord with Mollie and pin it so that we know what we're talking about. So yes, yours is actually, I believe, 3 or 4. I believe I want to say. So look forward to you. We'll be covering. Don't mind. It'll be fine. But yes, where were we going with this? Should we just dive right into it? Because we have the anonymous guy pulled up here. He's going to be first.
We do. We will buffer these with brief discussions about RWBY, I guess, because what else are you guys here for? Let's be real.
Yeah. And don't forget that tonight, Dashi is planning on having a live stream post episode reaction type discussion. about the newest episode of RWBY, so go over to Dashy Lee's channel for that. I'll try to be there. I'll see if I can. I don't know what my predicament is looking tonight. I don't typically make Friday nights, but we'll see. So yes, let's get right into this, I suppose. Good to go? Anything else to cover? Any comments, questions, heartaches, concerns? Anyone? No? Going fast? Going once? All right, let's do this. The anonymous guy sends us Salem's message. Ironwood enters the office exhausted and his arms still burning beneath the bandages. He sets Watts' bag down, pulling out his scroll, calling Harriet? Is her name Harriet? I thought it was Harriet.
Someone check that.
Where's Team RWBY? Okay, so getting some grammatical things out of the way here. You can definitely put a period where that first comma is, and you need a comma after Harriet. Or actually, you need a period after Harriet.
Also, even assuming that we have turned RWBY into a regular word, it should still be capitalized because it is an acronym.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Yes, it is an acronym. It needs to be capitalized all the way through.
Okay, it is Harriet. We've been confirmed. You could spell Harriet with an O. Well, I mean, if it's referring to the character, yeah.
With us, we just landed and are heading out for another. All of you report to my office immediately. There's been a complication. What's going on? Why Ironwood call us back? RWBY wondered.
Okay, you don't need to put. So I already see it in here that everything has like a dialogue tag, or almost everything has a dialogue tag. So an important thing we talk about with dialogue is that the dialogue should speak for itself. So like RWBY is asking two questions in a row, two rhetorical questions really. That is wondering by definition. She's like curious about something. So you don't have to say RWBY wondered.
Well, it could be like you could tack on like wondered aloud type. I guess it's already apparent she's wondering aloud. But I mean,
yeah.
My issue with it actually is a confusion of placement. Where are we in this scene? Because we start with Ironwood entering his office and making a phone call, and suddenly, first of all, we have no indication that the phone call ended, and now we're also with RWBY and the Aesops. So we're suddenly shifting complete location, and I'm lost.
Yeah, when you switch, so is it like you got to put in these breaks just to let us know where we are. So after a switch's perspective, you should put a break. If it switches location, you should put a break. If a significant amount of time passes, you should put a break.
It's not necessarily, and when we say break, there's many different means to it. Obviously, the most direct way of doing it is having like a physical break in the prose, where like you have like a divider or something like that, or just like a big space between the different paragraphs. But you can also have it where description channels it over, like you just say like, with Harriet, Harriet lowered her scroll. Like you can just easily transition by just describing what's happening physically in that scene, to basically transition us over there. There's ways to do it just by saying, suddenly someone's doing this, and we understand. Oh, we're with them now. You only got after submitting. I understand that. There's plenty of things that can be mistaken. But we are mostly here for the dialogue, so let's try and focus on the dialogue, even though we'll definitely make comment on the other things that pop up. What's going on? Why did Ironwood call us back? RWBY wondered. Don't know. We'll find out in just a moment, Elm remarked. Ironwood placed a chess piece on the desk as they entered. Cinder, RWBY stated. Okay. It seems like we've made an error, a critical error, Ironwood said, clenching his fist. Leave us. On his order, the Aesops left without a word.
So again with the dialogue tag, it works just as well to do a critical error and dialogue Ironwood clenched his fist. Leave us.
Yeah, that was very strong.
That is. It's more effective, I think. In my opinion, it flows better.
Yeah. I think just describing what people are doing while they're talking gets the idea across just fine. I received word that Tyrion has been apprehended. However, with this, that might be the wrong spelling of Tyrion too. Is it Tyrion?
I think his is an A.
Yeah. You like your O's. However, with this breach of my security for a second, he slams his fist down onto the piece, shattering it and denting the desk. Weiss approached Ironwood. You need a comma there again. It's going to be all right. Is it? He barked, ripping his hand free of the desk. She walked through my defenses like it was nothing. Nothing again. You might need a comma there. Like I don't know what emphasis he's putting on again here. Is he just going straight for, she walked through my defenses like it was nothing again? Or is he going for, she walked through my defenses like it was nothing again? If you're putting more emphasis on that again, you're going to want a comma there. And also, you don't want a comma there at the end of that descriptive sentence. Is it he barked, ripping his hand free of the desk? Period. He's not... You do sometimes have it where you have spoken dialogue, comma, description, comma, spoken dialogue. But very often that's if you're breaking up one spoken sentence in the middle with a description. So, like, I'm just saying, I pick up my pipe, things are getting a little weird out there today. Like, that's sort of like how you go about breaking it up. That's the kind of thought you want to put into that. It's how it sounds to the reader. How? Blake asked. Shouldn't we have been alerted if... Ironwood cut her off. Watts disabled the systems. He left us wide open. What do we do now? Yang asks. What's in...
Question mark.
Yeah, we need a question mark there.
And because it's a question mark, you don't really have to put asked. I mean, I understand you're trying to break up this dialogue, which is fine, which is good. But again, take the opportunity and put in, what is Yang doing? How is Yang feeling?
Yeah, Yang crossed her arms is the easiest way to think about that.
Yeah.
Also, you don't need
Tiny
a
Weiss sniffed cringe.
You don't need a
I'm not
comma.
saying this is cringe. I'm just saying she sniffs cringe.
It is an active process for her.
Yeah. Constant detection. Like a radar.
God, both of us must reek.
Yeah.
You don't need a comma after the asked also. Like, that's, again, you're just putting commas because you feel like you need that for the dialogue. That's not how that works.
What the real rule you should be remembering is this a sentence? So if this is like a complete end of something, period. If this is going to continue, comma, because you want to use it the same way you'd use any other punctuation. I understand with dialogue it gets a little tricky, but
I'm
trying to phrase this like in a way that makes sense.
My weakness. Grammar is to writers what you say, like, anatomy is to artists.
Yeah, it's just a thing you have to keep just drilling into your head.
Well, it's like
until it's really inherent to you.
It's the foundation of the art, but at the same time, it's something that it takes a lot of practice to get right before you can break the conventions. Like some of the best cartoonists on the planet can do absolutely gorgeous real life sketches, and then they go off and do their own, like, these hyper stylized cartoonish characters, and that's just because they understand the art so well, they know exactly what they're doing. So understanding the grammar will allow you to break the grammar as you see fit, so long as you understand what you're doing.
Yeah, so. A good way. I saw someone in the chat just say, dialogue is a nightmare for me. if dialogue registers nightmare for you, a really good strategy is to watch a movie or a TV show, a live action one, and sorry, it's a comment in chat. You should watch a live action something or other, and kind of narrate what's happening in your head. Like focus on the body language and the actions of the characters as they talk. Like even in a sitcom, part of comedy is action. So really just think about what are they doing that's moving the scene forward.
For me, when it comes to dialogue, it's really weird because it comes natural to me. I just observe people. I people watch all the time. I listen to how people talk, and I try to nail those inflections. And very often, the biggest thing you run into when you're writing dialogue is that good dialogue often breaks every rule and convention of grammar on the planet. If you want to learn how to break grammar, listen to people talk.
Yeah, now that doesn't mean that the actual prose breaks grammar, but the dialogue will inevitably just get fucky because people don't think in grammar.
Yeah. So let's see. And what do we do now? What's in the bag? Is it Watts's? Maybe it has whatever he used to disable the security. I don't remember this dialogue from this scene, so I'm taking on faith that you're rewriting this scene from scratch. For the record, you don't need an apostrophe s after Watts's for possessive. It's just an apostrophe. At least I prefer that. Some people do put the s. I just feel it's kind of extra. Ironwood grabbed the bag. Maybe. If not, we'll have to go to plan B. A voice spoke from inside the bag. Oh, James, always the tactician.
I have to say, the actual dialogue here itself isn't terrible.
Yeah, the actual dialogue here is
it's actually good. There is so each character has like a voice where you can kind of know inherently who's speaking even before you see the tag.
Now, can you do me a favor and pull me up the transcript of this scene? I think it was Volume 7, Episode 11, I want to say. I want to just double check that we're not getting the one-for-one beats. Oh, yeah, heavy rewrite? Okay. Just
It's heavy rewrite, okay. I can't stop.
It's
one
like,
of the comments that said apathy.
Sorry, it's like that point with the John Wick thing. I'm worried that we're getting the actual thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Apathy passively fed on emotion. Tiny White's filter feeds on cringe.
A voice spoke from inside the bag. Period. Oh, James. Actually, comma. That'd be comma. Oh, James, always the tactician. Period. Capital S. Suddenly, the bag burst open, Ironwood just barely jumping away in time. But you should know by now I can't be planned for. Salem gloated as she took form from the black fog. It's such a pleasure to meet you, James, and bravo on taking down Watts, though I'm afraid you're too late, she said, lowercase s, she said, gliding towards Ironwood. You see, their work was merely to set the stage for my arrival. We won't be taken. We'll be ready for you, your grand entrance. That doesn't ring true for Ironwood. What do you think?
Ironwood isn't about, that's very bravado-ish. Ironwood at this point in time is just tired and afraid and shoots people.
Yeah, I think he'd be much more direct than trying to be dramatic with that phrasing. My dear James...
Yeah, he is very...
Time isn't on your side. Don't make these people suffer. Surrender the relics, and this can be all over. Salem
this can all be over.
Yeah, this can all be over. My brain... Again, did I mention I'm tired? I don't know why I'm tired, but I'm tired. Salem offered kneeling down to him like he was a child with a tender motherly smile. I feel like that you could. The descriptive sentence.
If I was writing this is where Ironwood would just shoot Salem.
Yes. Just like he did that one guy. You saw the new episode, right?
My friends and I are doing RWBY bingo, and one of them put down Ironwood shoots at least 17 people, so...
Yeah, he's got a head start!
Ah.
No.
What I like about that scene is that it's them trying to ruin Ironwood's character by making him objectively bad, but they've done such a bad job at making him objectively evil. I watched that, and I'm like, yeah, that was fair of him.
I watched that, and I'm like, dude, double tap. If you're going to kill one chair member, just kill both. Like, why leave one alive?
All I'm saying is that they've hit this point in Ironwood's writing where he could be like, today I'm going to drown a box full of kittens. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fair for the good of Atlas.
It's really weird how they did so well in setting up an actual, like, tyrant to be justified. But they did.
By accident.
Yeah. No, they intended to make him sympathetic. They didn't intend to justify him. And I think that's where they screwed up. They justified a tyrant, and it's hilarious to me because I think most people are actually on Ironwood's side to some degree. Unless they've bought into the show on like, oh, RWBY is absolutely right in this. Hot take. No, they're not. Ironwood was right.
That's right. Anyway, let's not talk about more RWBY spoilers because it does look like there's some people who haven't seen the new episode yet, even though it came out 5 days ago.
Well, to be fair, it came out in first. It's gonna be free this week.
Ah. Everything good they write is by accident. Winter and Penny's relationship was an accident.
So let's see. No, Ironwood punctuated his answer with the draw of his gun. Hey, you were right.
There we go.
Yeah, here we go.
He is good.
Oh, James, Salem cooed, stroking his cheek. What a futile effort.
This is the second time she's used "Oh, James," which I could bet on happening in a real life scenario. People repeat themselves. But for the sake of writing good, clean dialogue, I would keep the repetition down.
Yeah, that's always the balance to strike, is that you want people to sound realistic, but you also want it to read smoothly. And I've worked very tirelessly to get to the point where it balances out. It is a very difficult prospect. So I don't admonish you for this. I actually think that's a very very prescient repetition there, but I think you might want to clean that up.
Yeah. Also use. Actually, I was gonna say put a comma between O and James, but that's like way too picky.
Yeah.
Ara James.
Ara. Also, I'm getting like weirdly sexual vibes from this, like stroking his.
I think it's supposed to be more motherly.
Well, no, like we're talking like the Ara motherly, where it's like
Ara.
Yeah, Ara. And like he's stuttering. You have Ironwood stuttering. I don't know. Does Ironwood really stutter? I think he might start a thought and then drop it and then continue a new thought. Like, no, we can never have. That doesn't make any sense. Like he does that kind of thing, but I don't think he stutters. So him stuttering here feels kind of out of character.
Yeah. Remember, dialogue is like, I would say dialogue is 70% of a character. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep moving so we can get to the others.
Yeah. We'll stop you, RWBY spat. Salem turned, addressing.
We'll stop you.
It's a good descriptor though. Like that's RWBY spat is using that correctly. Very good, very good.
I love spat. Like she spat. It's
sharp. It's a very sharp descriptor for dialogue. It's great.
Yeah.
Salem turned, addressing the rest of the room. RWBY, the comma there works. Yeah. RWBY rose. It's wonderful to finally meet you all. But I don't think you'll be stopping anything anytime soon. She smiled. You need a capital S on the she smiled thing. Though I don't think you need the she smiled at all.
I think we talked about this last week, that there's a difference between that comma and that period, because if you do the comma, it suggests that she's doing this through the dialogue. If you put in a period, she does it after the dialogue.
Yeah, well, technically speaking, it's supposed to be period, then the physical. Like, that's where you get into, like, breaking the rules of grammar, is where you can actually have those physical descriptors be linked directly with the dialogue. So, also, it doesn't work because, like, it doesn't work in that regard because the previous sentence, descriptor sentence, was a comma going into the dialogue, and you can't comma going out of the dialogue like that. We can. Jin showed us. We can. RWBY paused. It should be period, capital R, RWBY paused. Period.
Also, I think paused. Paused is. I know it's like a neutral word, but it always comes off as unsure to me. I think she's emphasizing. I think it's a better. A word that suggests she's emphasizing.
I would have, because you want that pause physically and mentally, so I would have been like, RWBY growled. Like, we can. Yeah. Jin showed us. We can. Jin showed us. We can. RWBY growled. We will stop you. And then you have RWBY paused again. Oof. Nope. Just go right into the next line. Maybe we can't kill you, but who knows? Maybe we'll figure it out. What happened there? Out. Period. Quotation S.
That just looks like a typo.
But also, it's who knows, not who know. Oh, that's where the S went.
I'm just thinking about RWBY growling. We can. Jin showed us. We can. We'll stop you.
Hey, in this new volume, she sounds actually pretty good. Although that could just because everyone's still warming up. That was Fat Man's theory. I've heard that before, Salem said with a chuckle.
I'm angry.
The Black Fog.
RWBY has a dog. Okay.
It should be a period after that. Oh dear, this is embarrassing. What happened next could only witness?
I think he's saying that people had no choice but to watch.
Yeah, I feel like you could word that better. Her name escapes me, I swear. Salem sang with a wide-toothy grin as new form took shape. It's on the tip of my tongue. She finished with how fully morphed resembled Summer Rose, her voice mixture of her own and Summer's. She was wrong. I like that. That's a good twist on the scene. I actually like the idea of Salem taking on Summer's form. It makes her more nightmarish.
It does. I love that. I am a sucker for the trope where you have like the nice looking woman and then she's actually this eldritch horror. So
you're also a sucker for the trope of the nice looking woman who then gets the shit kicked out of her and then looks all sexy.
Why do we do this every stream?
Because I find it infinitely amusing. Oh my god, you are beet red. Oh. RWBY sank down, sobbing. Yang clenched her fist till they were white knuckled. You. A wisp of sorry that cut off things. I thought I adjusted this properly, but whatever. A wisp of fog lifted RWBY's chin gently. Would you like a period? Would you like to know how her story ended? Salem asked, the sweet smile and motherly tone back. RWBY could only weep. God damn you! Yang shot forward only to be seized mid-flight and slammed to the ground. So far, this is actually really improving the scene. Shh,
I actually really like these changes after the twist.
Yeah. Shh, it'll be all right. Don't worry. Salem slowly tightened her grip as she smiled even sweeter. Period. Now fly away, little dragonfly. Period. Capital E. Effortlessly, Salem sent Yang through the window, plummeting to the ground. Yang! Blake leapt through the window after her without a thought. Weiss behind her. Salem looked from Ruby to Ironwood and back. Period. Don't worry, Ruby. I promise when next we meet. She glances at James. Comma. You did it right here. I'll save you for last, but it'll be quick. The fog dissipates, leaving Ruby and Ironwood alone for now.
Someone said, look at Yang acting like a sister. Yes, that is a thing that we keep forgetting. And by we, I mean the show. Also, chat is teasing me now.
You're welcome. Okay. So yes, that was overall, it was messy, but you did a pretty good job with the dialogue. Characters kept pretty consistent, all things considered. So good show. I
really do love the idea of Salem being this like non-corporeal shape-shifting thing, because when I said I like that trope, I didn't mean it as in like a weird way. I mean it in like the nightmare way, where it's like you don't, it's like you don't know who to trust, you don't know what's real. It's this very like uncomfortable, and I just love it for storytelling reasons.
Now we're with Rudy, who is from Poland. Did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have some interesting quotation marks here.
Yes.
So
we give that a pass, obviously.
Yeah. It's going to take a little adjustment.
By the way, girlfriend is officially in chat.
Woo!
Woo.
Fred, wake the fuck up! We've got to take over Red Ferret. You've got me intrigued. I'll say that. WTF, bro? I'm a stuff.
Hold on, I got this. What? It's okay. What the fuck, bro? I'm a suffer from the big cold, mate. Please help.
Fred woke up in the middle of a hill, suffering from severe hypothermia. Okay. You don't want to write in leet speak unless it's typed. If you're really adamant on things sounding like leet speak, actually sound it out. Like
I understand that he's being facetious. Obviously, that's like a comedy thing. But also, you're killing me here.
You're killing me, Smalls. Get your ass over here. We've got no time. Samson ignores Fred's constant nagging. Fucking two, Fred responded back. Okay, seriously, that's that's gonna get grating fast.
Okay. Oh, the second part is normal. There's a chapter 2 that looks normal. We could skip to that.
Chapter 2, quick meaty. Yeah, we'll go to that. It's probably more recent work too, so it's probably more accurate. Samson wakes up from his bunk bed, not bunker bed, looks around to greet anyone, only to find nobody at his upper bed. Huh. I mean, I would be actually mildly alarmed if people were in my upper bed. Fred, it seems like Fred is still healing from his wounds. What a nutcase.
Yeah, also, someone pointed out that's a tone shift. That's a tense shift mid-sentence.
Was that? With what? The... only
someone
said,
I don't know.
Samson wakes up from his bed, looks around the green, only to find nobody at his upper bed.
Oh, okay, that's just a grammatical.
Yeah.
Also, yes, this is a very long entry, but I don't think it was written for this.
Yeah, it seems like Fred's still healing from his wounds. That I don't know if you need that ellipses there. I don't know what that ellipses is.
Upper bed, the term is top bunk.
Yeah, although, why would people be at his top bunk? Like, that's, like, confusing in and of itself. Like, people don't just hang around other people's top bunks.
Well, I mean, if he has a roommate, I think that's what it's saying.
Oh, okay.
The bunkmate, whatever.
I feel like that...
So healing from his...
That entire sentence could be an entire paragraph that's reworked. Yeah, you don't need the ellipses there. Healing from what a nutcase. Comma.
No,
Samson.
you could put it there if he's like groggy. And,
yeah, but I don't know. It's very hard to convey that. Like, I don't know. Samson remarks on Fred's achievements and long-term repercussions. There's a lot of saying going on here in the prose. There's a lot of just this and that and this and that, as opposed to doing. There's not a lot of doing going on here. Like, Samson remarks, that's doing, on Fred's achievements and long-term repercussions. We don't know anything about Fred's achievements and long-term repercussions. You're just telling us that there are achievements and long-term repercussions. Samson prepares up for a today meeting, taking fresh clothes and checking up on upcoming schedule for missions. He decided to walk up to Mike, his well-known colleague. I think I'm going to tap out on this one, actually.
Same. No, of course, this is someone who doesn't speak English as a first language. This is no detriment to you. It is just a matter of practice. Read more English books. Use less leet speak. We are not in 2013. We have moved past this as a society.
Yeah, I haven't used leet speak since I changed my dialogue to it on Facebook, and the updates changed it back, so I didn't have a choice in that. Remember when you could change your language on Facebook to be leet speak? That was fun. There's also pirate speak. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Things like yar. But yeah, so seriously, yeah, you need to read more English. You need to get more accustomed to it. I'm trying to think
of course,
I'm
not. I don't know anything about ESL advice, so
yeah.
Let's move on to Moopa.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a good recommendation book-wise for him that'll help.
I mean, it sounds demeaning, but the best thing you could do to learn a language is start reading children's literature, watching children's TV, and that's not an insult to your intelligence. That's just
I'm learning Japanese right now, and the way I'm learning Japanese is I'm reading Yotsubato, which is it's a gag comedy, but it's all about a little girl moving to a new prefecture. So it's all about like little shenanigans a little girl gets into. It's not anything super serious or deep or anything like that. So children's literature.
The thing is, I'm talking about like real children's, like Nick Jr. type stuff, because they do a lot they talk slow, basic language. He seems beyond that, obviously, like he's writing. But there still is, like watch like a SpongeBob type thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
read a book for like the 10 through 11 age range.
Yeah, but all the same, thanks for the submission, man. Just you gotta practice the fundamentals of English a little bit stronger. I think you can get there. I mean, you've obviously made, for anyone speaking a foreign language, is at least comprehensible. Like,
it is, which is very impressive. So very impressive. Good work.
All right, so this next one is Moopa, you said?
This is Moopa's, yes.
All right. 3 friends lay together in the soft sea grass of the garden, cool currents caressing them. Hey, Darexos, listen, I've got a good one. All right, I'll follow after you. Tarpon jumps, flashing scales, changing colors in the sky and water. You, okay. Up the ray soars higher, the diamond daughter. Nico, do you want to play? A worthy challenge? Verily, the eel glides smoother, matching the waves above. Well,
they're doing like poetry by like an acrostic, like an alphabetic acrostic.
Yeah. I like this. Well does the reef shark navigate sharp rocks, true like my love. Nico leans over to give Menno a kiss.
That's cute.
Exceptional is the flounder mastering the third element, flitting under sand. Hey, that doesn't start with an X. That's cheating. Penalty time. Penalty. Elementary, please. It's hard to think of words that start... Oh, clemency, please. It's hard to think of words that start with an X. I'll only grant clemency if you can answer my riddle before I count to 3. At which point me and Nico will attack.
Okay, I don't know who's talking anymore.
Yeah, I that's my big problem here is going back to the anonymous guy. Too many ticks, too many like trackers. Moopa here, too few trackers.
That is a tough balance. But basically, like, if you were going to have, if this was 2 people, I wouldn't really care. If this was 3 people, I like.
Is this 3 people or is this 4? I can't tell. I think it's 3.
It's 3 friends. It says at the very top.
Right. It tells you how much I'm paying attention. 3 friends lay together in the soft. Okay. A clemency, please. It's hard to think of words that start with an X. You only get. Let's see. I guess I'm ready. Hard as coal and soft as sand, I bury my treasure on distant lands. Enclosed darkness is my doom. My friends are the dolphins and the moon. What am I? I'm going to try and solve this one. What do you think it is? Hard as coal. Molly, you there? Did you freeze? I think you froze.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
I was saying that Moopa says I want a challenge to make the dialogue work without any tags. That only works. Actually, that doesn't work really. You can go back and forth with no tags a couple times, but you are going to have to put in descriptors. You are going to have to put in tags. Sparsely, but you have to.
I appreciate the attempt to handicap yourself.
Yeah.
That's a very. I mean, it's great for an exercise like this.
Because you know what, I do have an image in my head with this dialogue of how they're all behaving and acting. I can picture it, which is good, which is really good.
Yeah. Iris calls off the sand. I bury my treasure on distant lands. Enclosed darkness is my doom. My friends are the dolphins and the moon. What am I? I don't know. Can I get another hint, please? No. 1. Okay, your heart is cold and soft as sand. You bury your treasure. You're friends with dolphins. And 2. A sea turtle. Turtle, you're a sea turtle. Aw, but yay, you got it. Good. I knew you could figure it out.
Shout out to turtles.
Turtle.
Shout out to turtles. That's gonna make Sarah happy.
But they're not an amphibian, are they?
She just really she likes all things green.
Well, what would you 2 have done if I couldn't guess it this in time? Tickle you? Pinch you? Ah, death then. I mean, the dialogue is fantastic. It's really just a lack of tags we're just getting lost in.
Yeah, I mean, I love this dialogue. It's very distinct. It's very original.
So yeah, good work, Moopa. I don't know what to say here. This is very strong dialogue writing.
Yeah, this is. Like, the weird handicap aside, good work.
Well, moving on.
That's the thing, is like, we want to give more praise to the people who really deserve it, but also it's hard to, like, explain why things work.
Well, speaking of praise, consistent praise junkie, Frontier is here. So, I don't know, is praise junkie really the right term? I don't know, brain work with me here. Doesn't matter, brain's not working. Come back another day. Yes, Frontier, William Wimser, let's do this. You look like shit, brother. Nick's eyes went wide as the voice washed over him. A voice he knew, even after so very long. A voice whose owner couldn't possibly be here. And yet he was. Sitting... Oh, sorry, I'm just fucking Google Docs overlay. Go away. Fuck that thing. And yet he was, sitting in a chair next to the bed. Just as Nick remembered him. The reddish-brown fur of his ears, the sly smile permanently chiseled on his face. Even those eyes, those deep pools of emerald that always seemed to know everything. As if it only had been just yesterday. As if it had only just been yesterday. Okay, yeah. Renard? Nick said, his voice cracking like burnt paper. Oh,
I love that. I love voice crackling like burnt paper. That's so like
Renard?
Yeah.
The one and only. But you're the mines. I know. I was there. I was there. If anyone gets that reference, you know a very obscure thing that you saw in like high school geography class. No, high school history class, what am I saying? You can't be here. You want me to go? The emphatic no that Nick would have uttered was drowned in a fit of coughing. The vice in his chest tightened its grip, possessive, its grip, squeezing down on his lungs as Nick hacked. Oh, we've had one typo front here. It's over. Our praise for you is gone. Sorry.
That's it.
He had not.
Wait, where's the typo?
He didn't. The possessive it. The vice in his chest tightened its grip. He had not.
All right, you've been canceled.
Yeah, you've been canceled. Sorry. He had not the strength left to rise when it had finally passed, only able to lie still as the blood and phlegm crackled in his chest. Sounds painful, Renard offered? I feel like offer is a very specific type of dialogue designator. I don't think it works here. You might want to look for something else.
No, I feel like offered is more like you are breaking into a conversation, like you're adding to a debate.
Or you're like literally offering to do something, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like offering a choice of words, that kind of thing. Dust lung, Nick wheezed. Be glad you never caught it. Renard laughed, a mixture of sarcasm and deep bitterness. Guess I'll never know, will I? Sorry. Should that be lowercase s? I'm always
That is
confused.
an excellent question. It is technically the beginning of a sentence.
Yeah, with an ellipses, I never know whether to capitalize things after it if I'm beginning with an ellipses. But I do capitalize it anyway. I'm always uneasy about that. What really annoys me is when I have characters that talk with like, I'm trying to think of a good example where they drop the first letter of a word in their slurring, in the way they talk, in their dialect. Like, I'm trying to think. Go like talk deep, short, sweeter. You're dropping the letters or something like that. Like you're dropping things in the sentence. If you start a dialogue,
like H dropping, you capitalized that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, where you have apostrophe and you just capitalize basically the second letter of the word. Yeah. Yeah, well, Renard waved his hand. You want a comma after hand. Go on long enough, and everyone ends up sorry for something. Silence settled between the two men like a shroud. Renard seemingly content to let it stand unbroken. To Nick, it was deafening. It was deafening. I think you want a deafening. To Nick, it was a deafening, spiraling vortex. Filled with everything he had always wanted to say, of everything he should have said. I've missed you, Nick managed. I'm touched, your lordship. Nick deflated at the words, withering under the look on his old friend's face. Still, the silence was broken now, and Nick refused to let it return. I made a mistake, Ren. Just the one? The words kept deep, mostly for their truth. I shouldn't have given him the company. Who? Jacques. Renard laughed again, this time with great amusement. That's who you gave your life's work? A sniveling little brown-noser who's never held a pickaxe in his life. That Jacques. He knows the company, knows the business, and he's my son now, Nick trailed off, turning to face the window as he sucked in ragged breaths. It was the right choice.
Oh my gosh.
I like this. It was the right choice.
I would have never guessed somebody would do this.
Briefly, the silence returned. Nick wondered if his friend had decided to leave after all. He started when the young fauna suddenly appeared, looking down with those deep, deep eyes. They watched him, judged him, and found him wanting. What happened to you, brother? You were the conqueror of mountains, the slayer of monsters, the man who forged an empire from nothing but ice and stone and sweat. Renard gestured to his skeletal form. Now look at you, skin and bones, without even the spine to look at his own ghost. Look his own ghost in the eyes, His own ghosts in the eye. I got old, Nick said weakly. Renard rolled his eyes, giving a sharp tisk that was like a knife to Nicholas's heart. You know, I'm almost glad I didn't live to see it. What? Nick said, voice barely a whisper. The day that the mighty Nicholas Schnee, the faunus leaning close, gave up. And then he was gone, leaving the old man truly alone.
I would have never guessed somebody would have taken fucking Nicholas Schnee and given him dialogue. Like we're all blindsided here, as the chat says. We're all blindsided. Like,
yeah, this was...
I loved it. I thought it was original work at first. I had no idea what was happening. And then when I put the pieces together, I'm like... oh, man. You did it.
What I like about this is the fact that it doesn't use a lot of dialogue. And that might sound weird for someone who's like, you gotta practice dialogue. The art of dialogue is sometimes the art of what don't characters say. That can be just as important as what characters do say. And so if you have these, it's a very sparse conversation. If you break it down, this conversation happens over 3 minutes at most. It's not really,
and
it's
also
not that long.
Yeah, so what William likes to do is that he likes to make every piece of dialogue count. And Mupa did the same thing, where both of them, they are trying to make every piece of dialogue count, relevant. Nothing where I just feel like it's being thrown in there to be thrown in there. Like, one of the hardest things you have to do when you write is, if it doesn't work, get rid of it. I don't care how much you liked it in a vacuum, you have to get rid of it if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can tell you how many times I had some really clever repartee, and I just had to be like, this doesn't fit, this doesn't work, it doesn't really do anything for what I'm trying to do, so I just had to cut it out in wholesale, and it really is just painful. But after a while, you train yourself to really just think about things from a very mechanical way, and oddly enough, that makes it flow better from a romantic in the traditional sense way, where it's very flowy.
Yeah, you have to make things flow and sound natural. So as everybody who's ever interacted with me for more than 20 minutes knows, I have a lot of issues with the RWBY soundtrack. And when Jeff Williams went over his writing process...
It takes me 5. Please continue.
Depends who I'm talking to. What Jeff Williams discusses is that he says, oh, I just found a phrase that I thought was really cool, and I wrote a song around it. No, stop, start over, don't do this. Because what's going to happen is you pigeonhole yourself on that, and then when it doesn't work in the end, you have to contort everything to make it work, even if your other stuff is better. It is okay to see yourself taking a better direction than what you originally had, and just get rid of the original thing.
Yeah,
like I've done this before with Raymond, where I write something and I send it to him and he's like, don't go down this path. I have and he gives me a better recommendation, and then I'm like, okay, I have to rethink everything I'm gonna do. And you know what? It works out sometimes.
The I don't know how to go with, the idea of starting from a line of dialogue is usually pretty cool, but if you're going to start from a line of dialogue, you want that to be either the first words of the story or the last words of the story.
The last.
You don't want them to be you don't want to imagine this entire villain monologue that happens in the middle of the story, then write a story spanning out from that, unless you have every detail already solidified in your mind about that kind of stuff. It's very difficult, because then you're going to have to, when you finally expand the world around that point, you're going to have things that change that point intrinsically. You're going to have to go inside and out of it to rework it, if you even need to keep it at all. I mean, you can have an entire, oh, I have this great villain monologue I want to have in the middle of the story, and I started writing the story, and then I realized I never want the villain to actually be on screen.
Yeah, I don't have it on me, but I've been writing a song, And the first time I started writing it, I did it on paper because I just wasn't on electronics that day. And you can see on the paper just like 80% of what's on the paper is crossed out. And that's just for the first stanza. So starting with a chorus or with the center of a story or a main theme of a story like that is going to give you some issues.
Yeah. So like overall, I mean, this was excellent as always. But you made a typo, so now you're completely blemished in our minds. Sorry, Frontier. That's just how it works. But yeah, really, it is just learning the art of what not to say will do you well, because that will leaving things up to the interpretation of the reader, and leaving things vague in certain places are okay. It's hard to eloquate exactly, but just basically learn what not to write.
Yeah, a kind of good thing is try not to write what's already implied. So, don't write characters exchanging pleasantries unless it's, works in the scene. I don't need the character. I don't need to see the beginning of the conversation. William throws us into the center of the conversation. Muba threw us into the center of the conversation because things have already started happening.
I mean, I have no doubt that I'm going to run into that in my own work. Because I can already think of 1 or 2 points, maybe even up to 5 points in my current thing that I'm writing that I'm going to send this off to Mollie, and she's going to be like, you could probably cut this here, you could probably cut this here, you could probably cut this here, you could probably reword this better. And I'm going to be like, okay, then let's get to it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you're gonna get my written work in a couple of days here. It's a long one.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is funny though. When you have such a vivid idea of what you want, and then you start writing it, and you're like, wait, this is going a different direction, but I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It really is. Inspiration is. People think that inspiration is going to be the thing that you write. Inspiration is very often the thing that leads you to writing the thing you want to write. It's very weird how that works. It's basically, inspiration is just a stepping stone. It's not the work itself.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of a songwriting example.
It's WAP.
So, what?
Nothing.
An example of my own songwriting where that may have happened. I'm just looking at the songs I've been writing now. I've had to erase entire choruses. I've had to erase entire outros and intros. No matter how much I like them. The song that I just finished, actually, there was originally a third verse after the last chorus, and we just cut that out.
Yep. Yeah.
And I really liked it. But we just decided against it.
You can always save things for later. That's the thing that I always do is if I really like something, I usually cut it out and I paste it at the end of my document, and I just keep an eye open for where I can probably worm it in other places where it would fit and actually flow better. But sometimes you just don't come across that. Sometimes you just have to be like, well, this isn't working. I gotta just abandon this big chunk. And it's painful, but you'll get used to it.
There it is. So there's a song that I wrote back when Volume 5 came out, before we got the soundtrack. I knew they were going to fuck up on Ilya's theme, so I just wrote an Ilya theme, and I plan to reuse it because it never went in, I never published it or anything. And I am going to, based on how I'm rewriting it, I will have to change the title. The recurring line of the song is going to have to be changed. And this is something that's so ingrained into the song already, and that's okay. It's fine. I don't care how long it's been there. Just don't. I'm trying to not attach the sentimental value. I'm going to have to get rid of it, and that's okay. There's something better.
Yeah, my biggest annoyance with that is just doing the work over. It really is the most frustrating thing in the world when you're like, I've already done this. I've already gotten this done. Now I have to do it again differently. And it just the effort of that is just annoying. If anyone knows me, I despise redrafting. I despise editing. I despise it. And yet a story can sometimes be made or broken based solely upon the editing of a single line. So, yeah.
So we do have one more, which is from my friend Sean. So shout outs to Sean. So they told me to go to the second page that is more dialogue heavy. It's supposed to be like a journal entry, and then stuff after journal entry. It's OCs, it's Fire Emblem. We're good to go.
All right, well, you take it away. This is your friend, and I've read the last four, so.
I was going to take it away because I'm sure your throat is tired.
That's a little bit.
I'm looking at a text message. All right, the fire that was on my campus got put out, guys.
There's a fire on your campus?
There was a fire near my campus. It is good. We're all good. Everybody S in chat for Sean. Okay. The blistering summer heat beats down directly onto her. Her end of the barracks, not barracks, the barracks, did little to lessen not the intensity of the heat, as much of the upper floors were ruined in the siege 5 years ago. All right, post time skip. With her arm aloft as a visor, it says the, but she gazes skyward for even a single cloud to make her walk just a bit easier. Alas, the clear blue skies did not for her, but make her wish her mahogany hair was but a few shades lighter. Feel that one. Knowing she's only giving herself less time to eat, she starts her walk to the mess hall. While she's used to the thin mountain air and the lessened rations at this point,
I feel like that's an incomplete thought right there.
That is an incomplete thought, because it doesn't connect to the next sentence. Her claws jingle and... Claws? Oh, right. So Raymond, so one of the weapons in Three Houses are basically these giant gauntlets, and they have claws on the end.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick, if you ask me.
Yeah, honestly, I've always wanted like combat gauntlets, where I guess all gauntlets are combat, but like clawed gauntlets, I think those are like a really cool idea for weapons. Yeah.
But because we're just like barely removed from something about Faunus, I was like, are we getting furry shit in my Fire Emblem? Her claws jingle and clang along her belt due to her constant fiddling. With no one to talk to, she scans her surroundings for anyone she knows would be interesting. Luckily, she found her usual company squatting before the dirty pond. Ho there, Groon. I was one. Mencken must shush. This one still searches. The odd little man hisses out. That's such a great description. I don't know. I love that. Odd little man hisses out. It's very goblin. I wonder if this character was based on me. La Gablina. This is what Sean sees when they approach me on campus. With a finger extended and skyward. You don't need and. It should be extended skyward. An awkward minute of silence passes before Grun finally brings his other arm from the water and wipes his boggy hands on the sides of his robe. One day, it will find the two-headed toad, but not this day. Of what were you speaking, Erwin? At this point, Erwin was used to her friend's odd mannerisms, so she allowed the conversation to flow naturally despite the interruption. Of course, I was just wondering if you'd join me on a stroll to the mess hall. She states with her hand extended and covered. She's learned from experience to carry a hand towel whenever touching her friend.
That paints like that. I sure hope this isn't
based on me. Company, sustenance, yes, it does hunger after all, exclaims Grun as he is pulled to his feet by Erwin. Despite his heavy robes and gear, the man was still as light as a feather. Had Erwin not accompanied him to the mess hall so often, she'd assumed he'd never ate a morsel. The toad's search ever drains this one of companionship. Honestly, Grun, there should be a comma after honestly. I've never seen you stay at a pond for more than a day, yet that whole scene a sen night? Is that like a fortnight?
Is that?
I understand that they're using some old-fashioned dialogue here. I do want to check that. A week.
Oh. Huh. Well, the more you learn.
We learn something new every week on this stream.
I'll have to use
Yet that whole scene is a sen night's worth of focus. Erwin says with a dash of snark in her voice. So what I'm seeing here is there's this kind of in contrast to Mupa's or Frontier's work. This is trying to add as much vividness to the dialogue as it can, which is just a writing style. I like it. I think it's very vivid. It's very vivid, and you're doing a very good job giving us an idea of these characters.
Yeah, I think that kind of reflects the nature of Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is very... you have these characters on screen as like puppets going along with the dialogue. And so in order to get as much... You need to squeeze as much out of the dialogue as you can with the characters in Fire Emblem. So if you want a good look at how dialogue is done, look to Fire Emblem, particularly Awakening and particularly Three Houses. It really does a great job of conveying.
I said this before. Fire Emblem was about to die in 2012, and they released Awakening. Awakening's story was shit. Nobody remembers what happened in Awakening besides the final boss. And the future stuff. But the characters were so strong and were so malleable, and because you could pair them up in all the ways and whatever, it made it extremely popular because it became very accessible, because you didn't have to learn 18 pages of lore to understand what was going on. You could watch a support conversation and go, haha, funny night, and then just move on with your day. And I think that's why it did so well.
Yes, it became medieval waifu simulator.
Yeah, but you know what? It works because it's great at character writing and it's great at dialogue. Something that's very important that Fire Emblem does, and that we see Sean replicating here, is that the characters are not intrinsically bound to the main conflict. Like, in any given Fire Emblem game, 80% of the cast isn't relevant. I mean, they have minor relevance, but the real meat of their characters is just being people.
I remember in Awakening, they were basically introduced in their point of relevance for the conflict. They had one mission after that where they were relevant, and then that was it.
Yeah. So we notice here in this dialogue that okay, we have an idea. Grun is a weird little goblin man that is searching for a cryptid frog in a lake. That is extremely Fire Emblem, because I remember in Awakening, my favorite character, they'd be like, "Hey Sherish, what are you doing today?" I'm just going to knit a hat for my dragon while it eats live goats." All right, you do that. Everyone was just so fucking weird, but it worked because that's how people are.
I mean, yeah, I can't help but agree. All right, let's keep on going.
All right, sorry for that. I mean, it was a relevant tangent. It's not a tangent. It's relevant.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we gotta keep going.
Yes. Company, sustenance. Yes, it does hunger, after all, exclaims Grun as he is pulled to his feet. I don't think that's exclaim. I think that is just said. Or agreed. Despite his heavy robes and gear, the man was still Lysophedic. Yes, okay. The Toad's search ever drains one of his ever drains this one of companionship. Honestly, Grun, I've never seen you state upon for more than... Okay, yes, we covered this. Sorry.
Yeah, so where were we? Oh, yeah, we've covered that. That's why.
Yeah. A new lead has this one found. Yet, despite its focus, this one notices the sun at its highest. One such as yourself has never been... Won't. That should be one. To sleep in.
No. It's want. Want is an actual word. It means to desire.
What?
W-O-N-T.
We learn something new every day.
To want
sleep in. So what troubles you, sir? Grun signifies his confusion with the tilt of the head. Despite his many eccentricities, Grun is surprisingly competent in a social setting.
Wait.
So this isn't about me.
I'm getting my definition wrong. Noun, one's customary behavior in a particular situation. Adjective, the habit of doing something. Accustomed. Verb, make or be accustomed.
Okay, so it still works, but...
Yeah. I was just getting it wrong.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've used it.
Yeah. Grun, my luck with division rotations has finally run dry. Heavy losses in the melee platoons have led to a need to completely reorganize everyone, dramatically declares Erwin, her pep finally renewed from escaping isolation. I guess that works with the with the tone. It does feel a little bit awkward. Dramatically declares, I guess that works. I'm not going to nitpick that. Her pep finally renewed from escaping isolation. She looks downward, pressing her knuckles to her head as a sigh comes out. Which means new commanding officers as well. Unfortunately, I was assigned to Melee Division 1R. Division 1 means front lines, yes? This one knows of the odd characters who lead the charge. Grun bluntly states, unaware of the irony of calling others odd. No, I would say that Grun is probably a more stable person than most of the cats in Three Houses. The biggest difference between Awakening and Three Houses cast is that in Awakening, everyone's really nice. In Three Houses, everyone fucking hates each other. It's great.
Especially Ingrid hitting Dorothy. Just putting that out there.
Especially what?
Especially Ingrid hitting Dorothy.
Yeah. No, that's a tame level of hatred for that game. There are characters where it's like, what's up, bastard? I don't know, go fuck yourself. And then they obtain C support. That's right, if you ask me.
Hey, that Grun was actually pronounced correctly. Yeah, it's Grun. I mean, it's
yeah.
Friggin', it's just German. Fun fact, Grun means green.
Yeah. Which mankin could be so horrendous, it wonders? The horny one? Worry not then, sir. It knows the horny mankin is not one for brutish boors such as yourself. They are as heavy after Grun's last line, suffocating all words until a deep sigh on Erwin's behalf clears it. No, Grun, it's that oaf, that disgusting oaf, Raphael. I will not tolerate Raphael slander in the submissions. I'm just kidding, I don't care about him. With that one name uttered, her remaining words are muffled by the gritting of teeth. Defending the holy grounds forsaken by our goddess has left our rations pitifully low. Not that you would notice with how little you eat. Alas, for whatever reason, this oaf is considered special enough to not only receive the portions for an entire platoon, while also having the utter audacity to those under his command for the parts of their own meals. This is before even getting to the mess hall. Deep rest, sir. Many ears listen, mayhaps some silence over disrespecting one's commanding officer. Grun gestures for the woman to quiet down. Yes, right. My apologies then.
You probably lowercase that right.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm noticing you don't have space. I don't know why this is. You need spaces after ellipses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so ellipses do count as regular punctuation.
Yes, so you need a space.
You do need spaces after. I actually don't know if Sean's listening. I'm sure Sean's listening. They're just very embarrassed for submission, and I totally get that. It's like a scary thing to do. You're live in front of 50 people, or 36 now. It was 50 earlier.
Yeah, it was. I think they're moving off of RWBY. That's why. Und ja, Brady, ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Bisschen.
Yeah. So I just want to say I'm really happy you sent this in, because so far it's really good. My apologies then. It's just I can understand the need to eat with your own squadron, completely understand it. But with that monster turning the table into a mess, and an immediate training session following, I have no clue how good morale would be even form, let alone recover. I have really no idea how long I'll be able to endure this ordeal. Erwin gazes around, seeing the greenhouse slowly shrink behind her. She is marching ever closer to fate, and this terrifies her. Well, this one offers naught but good wishes of good luck and good fortune upon you, sir. Grun says in as cheerful a way as Grun could say. He carefully looks towards his feet, going up the stairs as to not trip over his robes. Although not at all clear, one could tell he was a touch upset by how short his conversation was. If Mencken has free time, this one will be hunting its query later. Of course, Grun, but please use that brain for something other than frogs by then. I can only tolerate you for so long sometimes. Erwin smiles and waves Grun off, seemingly delaying her trip to the mess hall for as long as humanly possible. Yet she knows her fate is inevitable. Taking a deep breath, she strides onto line and immediately begins to scan for her oath of a commanding officer. Sean, I don't know what you were so scared of.
Yeah, I mean, you were kind of rough, I think, a little bit at the beginning. There was some stumbling with the description lines. Like, there were some typos, I'm saying. But, like, other than that, this is great.
Yeah, honestly, it's sound. It's not overly described. It's not under-described.
I want a little goblin guy
style.
in my company now.
Yeah, these are really vivid characters. Like I said, you really captured the style of taking one conversation and you, like, get the character.
Yeah, so great work. Great work. And that's literally all the things that we have for today. Now, we should go into the brainstorming section of what we assign people. Now, keep in mind, people, next week, Molly will not be here. It'll probably be the Volume 4 reaction stream, or what I say, the Fixing Volume 4 response stream. That's probably what it's going to be next week. But for now, but the week after, we're still going to want a writing challenge. So what challenge do we want to hand out to them?
Let's see. We already did character studies. And since we have an extra week, wait, anime guy set something in.
You did?
That's what he's saying in chat.
This guy. Who did you send it to?
It's to you.
What is this? Oh, did I? Let's see. This might be it? Sorry, it might have been a, it might have been a miss thing on my part. Tribute. Oh,
all right, let's do it.
I got a. Did I send it to you? No, I didn't. Bam. There you go. Sorry about that.
I love it when you guys title it like writing assignment, writing homework. My dad is a teacher, so that's like a very like I don't know, it's like in the blood.
Let's see. 1109, Tribune, Dark World, Outer Rim, 2 years before 0 Hour of the Clone Wars. Oh, we're getting some Star Wars stuff here. Okay. Dank Ferrick.
Off to a great start, everybody.
Yeah, I'm just going to let that one pass. All right. Dank Ferrick, this city gets dark when the sun goes down, I thought. Wait. All right, first problem, I have no idea what this character is saying. It's not even like what Moopas are talking in riddles. This is just... See, very few lights ever appeared when night hits. My thermals were the only thing that could pierce this darkness, as infrared green and black is too fuzzy. You're capitalizing things randomly here? Darkness is infrared green and black is too fuzzy. Though I may just need an upgrade for my visor. You don't need these. You don't need these capital letters.
Oh my gosh, he's a comma-phobe.
A comma-phobe? Oh, he doesn't have commas.
Aside from the first three, there's only 8 commas in this whole thing, which
Damn.
is not many, because it's 3,200 words.
Yeah, we're not getting through all of this, man. Just letting you know. Through my HUD zoomed, though as my HUD zoomed in as the target stopped past a light. Passed, P-A-S-S-E-D. Past tense of pass. I spoke softly to RWBY as she nestled my blaster rifle into her shoulder. Guess this place...
Hold on, he keeps saying newer ones are further down?
Oh, newer ones are further down. Oh, you're just keeping one big page for writing assignments. Is that it? Yeah, okay. All right. Did you explain that in the message, or did I just miss that? Because I didn't. The thing is, I don't want to leave that up because the camera is on Discord, and so I didn't take a too long of a look at it. So you might have said that in your message. Ironwood looked out the window. His brow furrowed as he saw his military deployed to defend an ungrateful city he wanted to leave behind as bait. That's a sentence right there. He was ready to bear that cross. All right, first pause. Diegetically, what does that mean in the RWBY universe? Is there anime Jesus in RWBY? I just have to ask that.
They do have the cross necklaces. RWBY does have the cross necklace.
You're right. They do have the cross necklaces, and John does mention, oh God. So I'm wondering.
RWBY has become Catholic.
Yeah, I'll see you guys at your first communion. No, actually, they're 6 years old by now. They're 8 years old. That'd be about time for first communion. Yeah.
Tiny Weiss. Yeah, guys, we have to baptize Tiny Weiss. This is a Jewish baptism. We will use olive oil. That's not actually a thing.
I think olive oil is for Eastern Orthodox.
It's anointing.
That's anointing.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
Also for very good Italian dishes.
Yes, olive oil is always on my brain. I think I have a BOOC. Like, you know a BAC? I have a BOOC.
Yeah. Ready to take the blame. But now, allies he thought he could trust turned out to be his worst enemies. Their entire party's hypocrisy to the lies, the sharing of highly classified intel, the disobedience and defiance of orders, and all for what? A city that was ungrateful to even be alive. You're still capitalizing things randomly here. Though before he could continue his thoughts, I stood up from... Did you just switch tenses? To first person? I stood up from my chair, having read the files, knowing my targets personally. Or no, you're someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're switching from third person omniscient to first person indirect, or first person limited. You could have just blown them up from orbit, I said aloud. Given that you're already tracking them...
He wants us to choose... He says this is incomplete, but you know what? We're going to use it anyway.
Yeah. Given that you're already tracking them through the scrolls and whatnot. They have an asset that's too valuable to just bombard them with drone strikes. This requires a more gentle touch. All I want is Penny. My demands are simple for them. Ironwood replied. You might want to swap those sentences. My demands are simple for them. All I want is Penny. And
can we talk about how Ironwood doesn't keep a tracker on his most powerful super weapon? Like, Honda keeps a tracker on every single one of their civics. I think that an army could keep track of where, like, a robot is at any given time.
Like, unless they had a scene where they were actually like digging that out of her, a transceiver of some sort. And if my sister and their friends retaliate, if my sisters, is that supposed to be plural sisters? I mean, I think maybe if my sister's friends retaliate, or if their friends retaliate. He turned to me with a sullen look on his face. If anything, this general... Would that be capitalized general there? If anything, this general... I don't think it... This general needs a goddamn nap.
Goddamn is one word.
Yeah. I know you don't want to hurt them. Hence why I gave you that video as a bargaining chip.
I'm sorry, based on the comments, now I'm picturing Penny with like one of those car fobs. And like you press a button and you just hear like the beep.
Let's see. Oh, is this Whitley? I think he's talking to Whitley. And if my sisters and their friends retaliate. Or wait, is it like a sister to RWBY? Like a sibling to RWBY? Ruby and yeah, because like I don't know. I know you don't want to hurt them, hence why I gave you that video as a bargaining chip. Knowing Ruby's sad decline into self-righteous. Okay.
We can't say that on YouTube.
Yeah. She couldn't dare see a single soul hurt, much less family. I nodded. Very well. Generally, it's good to do business with you. I stretched out my hand. He did this. He too did the same. A pleasure. It's not every day the guild would spare the forsaken gunslinger to do business with, nor I with the general of the Atlas military.
Who is the?
I think it's a mercenary character of his.
Okay. Abused and neglected male reader. Is that you? Says Moopa.
You know what's sad? I have a friend that's like that.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to. It's complicated. I don't know how to describe him. I don't want to try and figure that out on air, but I can describe it later.
It's abused and neglected male reader when it's first person of somebody edgy.
I think so. I then proceeded to walk out. My footsteps echoed in the halls, as Ironwood went back to his desk. As Ironwood went back to his desk. No doubt tired from all of this. Oh my God, you're just breaking everything up here. I couldn't blame him, period. Like, no doubt tired, period. From all this, period. I couldn't blame him, period. He was a lot like me, after all, period. Scars and everything, period. Both of us betrayed by Ozpin about what...
Bro, commas exist.
Withholding is one word. Information about our enemies, period. Allies turning against us, period. Even have physical deformities, period. But that didn't stop us from our work, period. It only reminded us of our failures, period.
Can we talk about Ozpin? Somebody please write Ozpin's name with the B emoji.
Oh shit, you're right. I was so focused on everything else. Ozpin. Oh God. More like a has-been, am I right?
By the way, to give the benefit of the doubt, I am gonna skim through number 3 on here. I mean, it's better, but it's a lot of the same. Like, it's just kind of flat and tired.
Yeah, it doesn't strike.
It
Thank you,
has the
Mandalorian
feeling...
Celtic Phoenix would be happy to pay you when we get there.
Okay, so like putting us in your story doesn't mean we'll like it.
Yeah. Well, Playcharge donated $3, saying, "Coming to say hi. Still trying to get caught up on the episode 1 review and discussion. Also at work. Lol." All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review, the reaction and discussion. It was an interesting episode to start with for RWBY this volume. But yeah, don't just automatically put us in your... If you're being like tongue in cheek about different characters being part of it, but like, don't just shove our names in, either of our names in there and hoping that it'll make it better. It won't. In fact, it'll just feed Tiny Weiss.
Tiny cringe sniffing.
Do not feed the Tiny Weiss after midnight. She will turn.
Don't feed me after midnight either. It's a similar result.
She will turn into Tiny Winter and kill you.
It says it was meant to be joke with Fiona being your waifu. What?
Yeah, I mean, Fiona is adorable, but like all the same, kind of just try and.
The only Fiona I care about is the baby hippo at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yes, Fiona. Well, I mean, I care about Fiona from RWBY, but that's just because I know I can write her better. But Fiona from
the perfection. No one could fix that.
All the same, thanks for the submission. it's rough around the edges, like really rough. You gotta learn to be more comfortable with commas. Double check everything you spell. Everything. That's gonna take a while, I understand. But trust me when I say, once you learn it, you're not gonna forget it very quickly, especially if you make a mistake the first time.
So note to Ray in Revenge of the Redheads RWBY fanfic. If you write that, I'm interested.
Yes, like if you like need leading a crack team composed of Pyrrha, Roman, and Penny to go like kill, well not kill, but to extort. No, that's illegal too. Have a very aggressive conversation with Miles and Carrie.
About how they keep killing redheads in this show.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Google Docs and autocorrect are my enemy. Don't write on a phone.
That's not a good sign.
Don't write on a phone if you're like, because computers don't really have autocorrect necessarily. And most, honestly, most word processors have very good like grammar checks and word checks. But to the point where, like, they will tell you that withholding is one word because of context. So yeah, you're still rough around the edges, buddy. You're gonna want to clean that up.
Read a book, as always.
Read a couple of books. Read a dictionary. Oddly enough, I think that actually would help a lot. I know that's not fun, but it's good to help. Oh, Taka Uchiha, thank you for the subscription. Yay! Subscriptions. All right, well, I think now we can wrap up. What should we have people practice this week? Or the next 2 weeks? Still keep it within 500 words, because we can't read, like, 3,000.
I just want to see what comes up in the chat.
Yeah, we're still a little bit behind on that. The chat's still a little bit behind us. Apparently, Anime Guy only has a phone right now, not his laptop's in the shop, which is unfortunate. I would not recommend writing. Like I write ideas down on my phone. I do not write on my phone typically. Settings. People are suggesting settings. Atmosphere and tone.
Atmosphere settings. Those go hand in hand.
So what should we theme it around?
Challenge involving Neo.
Not specific characters.
Not a specific character. I see. Have us write a plot. That is a lot, because we're looking for 500 words. Oh, beginnings. You know, I think we talked about that last week when we read Stars fanfic, because we only read chapter 1, and we talked about really strong beginnings.
That might be a good one. That might be a good one. And actually, I have the perfect topic. I have the perfect topic, because volume 7, episode 1 should be public tomorrow, I think.
You mean volume 8?
Sorry, volume 8, yes. Episode 1. How would you guys, 500 words or less, write how you would start volume 8?
Now again, it doesn't have to be this exact topic, but we're looking for strong opening tones. Like, I guess like a better term is grabbing the reader.
Yes. How would you grab the reader? Because I think that volume 8 didn't start super strong to grab the like it really depends a lot on the prior volume to grab people. But with V8 or with anything really, you can do anything you want to start. But the just practicing how to get a reader involved is very helpful, and I'm giving you the option if you want a good prompt. How would you start volume 8 to grab a viewer or a reader? Presuming you're writing volume 8, not making a web show.
Yeah.
So that'll be my challenge to the. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
All right.
See you all in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
Yep. Next week is the response stream, hopefully. But yes, thank you all so much for watching. Get those challenges into us. You'll have 2 weeks to do them. And remember that for $1 or more to my Patreon, you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, where I, Fatman Falling, Dashy Lee, among many others, are constantly active. Molly's
I'm
Molly's a
taking
little
a break from there
yeah.
while I'm just dealing with uh, mental health stuff and just getting calming myself down during a very stressful school year.
So she's not in there currently. She'll probably come back at some point. We're hoping
Yeah.
she does. But join us in there. We'd love to see you there. It's also the easiest place to send me these things, so I can link them in. If not, you can submit challenge submissions to my Twitter. So yeah, thank you all so much.